When I received my Hashimoto's diagnosis a few years ago, I dove right down the rabbit hole in trying to understand the autoimmune disease and how to best support my body. I decided that there were three areas that I wanted to start focusing on: my diet, my physical strength, and my environment. Today, I'm going to share the first 5 steps I took to reduce toxins in my home. Hi, I'm Allison Egidi, a pediatric sleep and wellness coach and a mom of two. I love to help parents find solutions. This is How Long Till Bedtime. Once I started to really investigate and understand what causes autoimmune diseases and how best to support my body that is currently battling one, I quickly became overwhelmed. I decided to focus on making changes in my life one area at a time. The first area I focused on was my diet. I shared my biggest diet change in episode 48 if you want to check that out. Once I got pretty settled in on the diet front, I moved on to my physical strength and focused on finding a routine and activities that allowed me to finally stay consistent with movement or fitness approach. I shared details on that process in episode 17. And after I made good progress in both of those areas and I started to feel more settled, I decided to turn my attention to my home environment. I have to say, for some reason, I felt the most overwhelmed by these changes. And it's the one area where I don't feel like I noticeably feel better after making the changes. But I do believe it matters. And I'm grateful that I've made these changes. I also think these changes are important for the health of my entire family because so many toxins found in our home are just kind of little silent things that are plugging away in our body. And there's proven to be an increased risk of cancer with many of them. I didn't make a bunch of changes all at once. I literally did one at a time over a series of months. I still have changes that I want to make, but I feel good about the progress in these initial changes that are underway and slash done. The first change I made was switching from storing my food in plastic to storing it in glass. I had long ago stopped microwaving plastic, but I was still using plastic storage containers for things like leftovers. This helps me reduce my family's exposure to BPA and phthalates. Is it phthalates? I don't know, guys. I cannot always pronounce it correctly. It's PHTHALATES. I think it's phthalates is how you pronounce it, but don't quote me on it. I'm not an expert. So they are specifically linked to thyroid issues, which is what is driving my Hashimoto's. So this is one that I really wanted to limit exposure for myself. And I also want to limit my kids' exposure. I just bought new glass containers at Costco when I decided I was ready to make this change. And I threw out all of my old plastic Tupperware containers. I had had a ton of them and they were old. So I just got new glass containers and tossed the old ones. The second change I made felt like a big one. I stopped using my Keurig coffee maker and I started making my coffee using a French press. The Keurig pods and so many of the other single serve coffee pods are made with plastic. So I was basically running super hot water through plastic and then just gulping it all up. So I had stopped microwaving in plastic, but yet I was practically boiling things through plastic and drinking them. I don't know what I was thinking. The French press is absolutely a slower process when it comes to making coffee, and it has more steps, and I grind my own beans and the whole thing. But I know it's much healthier, so I'm really happy I made that change. And I do think the flavor of the coffee out of my French press is much better. I'll link to the French press I currently use in the show notes. It's the one I originally got a couple years ago, and it's nothing fancy, but I've been happy with it. On the note of coffee, a change that I made more recently was switching to a healthier coffee. I switched to Purity Coffee. I had a functional practitioner recommend this change for me because it's organic and they test to ensure that it's mold free. And that's what this practitioner wanted me to focus on. And I have since heard other folks talking about it. So I think it's kind of picking up steam as the new healthy coffee that's mold free. I'll link to my favorite flavors in the show notes, but there are several good ones that they make. The third change I made was ditching my non-stick cookware. I bought a new cast iron pan. Side note on this cast iron pan, this was a couple years ago, but I purchased a Lodge cast iron pan and they're really good, high quality. But I went and got it from Home Goods for a fraction of the typical cost. They're typically not very cheap. And I want to say I actually bought two. I went back and got a second one. I bought the bigger version for maybe $25 and the smaller version, I think, for $14. And I'm obsessed with them. I cannot tell what was wrong with them that put them in the discount store, but I love them. So not sure if they still have them, but worth checking it out there. So I got a cast iron pan. Actually, I ended up getting two. And I did a little research on how to properly care for them. But I will tell you that while I'm very good at properly caring for it, and that is why it is still non-stick. And I will tell you, after watching many videos, you can make your cast iron pans non-stick. I do need to admit that I use water on it. So I watched a lot of videos on this and there was a lot of back and forth. Some people have very strong feelings. You should never use water. That's how our first one got so gross. And so I hated using that one and it just seemed nasty. So I did find some people, cooking experts, who said you can use water on it as long as you don't leave the water to sit in it. You scrub with water, but not soap. And so that is what I do with my cast iron. I do rinse it out with water after I use it. I scrub it with a good scrub sponge that gets things out. I do not put soap in it. And then I dry it really well immediately. And I always treat it with olive oil after I dry it. So after doing that, I can do sunny side up eggs in that pan. I do all sorts of things. And so it's for the most part non-stick. And then I also started using our stainless steel pans that we received for our wedding. I've always used them, but I'm using them a lot more after getting rid of the non-stick. Now, I did purchase one ceramic non-stick pan because it's your traditional, is it Teflon nonstick that have the chemicals on it. So I did purchase one ceramic nonstick pan. I got it from our place and it's called the Always Pan. And I've had it for, I looked up when I bought it. It was a little over 2 years ago and I've really liked it. My husband doesn't love using it as much, but I like it. I think it's all about the temperature you get the pan to before you start cooking. The fourth change I made was switching out the cleaning products we use in the house. So I switched to the Thrive Market brand for just general home cleaning products. The one I use the most is the Rosy All-Purpose Cleaner. I was already ordering some of my groceries and clean hair products for the girls from Thrive Market. So this was a really easy add-on for me. And if you're looking for a place to order kind of a little bit healthier snacks or gluten-free food or clean home or self-care products, Thrive is a great place, Thrive Market. I have a link that will get you 40% off your first order if you're not already a member, so I will link to that in the show notes. Now, I do want to admit that we have a cleaning lady that comes every 2 weeks and she brings her own cleaning products. And I have not yet broached the subject of having her use different cleaner products. So I just want to own that we certainly aren't perfect in the cleaning product department. But I do like that the products I'm using daily in our kitchen, for example, are clean products. So I kind of put this in the category of progress, not perfection. Eventually, I will pivot over to making sure she's using products I like as well, but it wasn't my top priority. The fifth and final change that I want to talk about today was changing my makeup. I had already switched to cleaner skincare products a while back prior to finding out I had an autoimmune disease. I really started to mostly use beauty counter products for my face wash and lotion and some makeup, but there was a lot of their makeup I didn't really like. So I was still using a lot of makeup that I wouldn't classify as clean. So, after seeing multiple people talk about it on Instagram, I decided to try Ilia. I initially went to Sephora to have someone help me find the right foundation shade. But once I had that nailed down, I started to order directly from the company because they often have really good sales, and I love a good sale. And let me tell you guys, I love their foundation. And I've come to love several other of their products. So I'm going to go ahead and share the products that I really love and I feel confident recommending. So my absolute favorite is the foundation. It's True Skin Medium Coverage Serum Foundation. The color that I use is Tavarua SF2. It's Tavarua. And I also love the True Skin Concealer with vitamin C. The color I use is Chicory SC1. I also love the Limitless Lash Mascara. And I take my mascara very seriously. I have naturally long lashes, and I really am picky about my mascara. So I was skeptical here, but I am obsessed with the brush. It has two different style brushes on it. And I love the way it lengthens my lashes and just the way the mascara gets applied with the brush. So, highly recommend their mascara. And there's one other thing I was using. Oh, the Clean Line Gel Liner in Brown Dusk. So the eyeliner, I like that as well. So I actually currently have on the eyeliner and the mascara. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see the eyeliner and mascara. And I have the foundation on as well. I'll share a link in the show notes to Ilia that will get you $20 off your first order if you're interested in ordering through them. But as I mentioned, I went to Sephora to initially find the right shade. And I do think when trying to find a new foundation, that is super helpful if you can go in person and have someone help you out and then start to order through the website. Now, one thing I will say is I didn't find that their eyeshadows were the right color for me. So I have not switched to their eyeshadows. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. They just weren't the right shades for me. So I have stuck with a beauty counter eyeshadow little palette that I really like. And then also I am already attached to a few of my beauty counter lipsticks. So those are the two makeup pieces I stuck with from beauty counter are the eyeshadows and lipsticks. And while we're on the topic of skincare, I just want to mention one product that I recently started to use that I think has really helped my very sensitive skin. It's the Herbivore Lapis Blue Tansy Face Oil. It helps lock in moisture for acne-prone skin, and I have definitely noticed a difference. I bought it at Sephora. Again, you could order through their website, but I ordered it through Sephora, and it's the first skincare product I've tried in a long time where I've really thought like, wow, I actually see a difference. Not just I like it, but I notice a difference. All right, there you have it. Those are 5 ways I reduced toxins in my home. I will share advice with you that someone shared with me. Make one change at a time and understand that all of these changes are going to take time. Make a list of the products you plan to replace with cleaner products the next time you run out. So I don't think you have to buy everything at once. And that's what I've done most recently with my makeup. So I had decided a while ago that I wanted to try Ilia, but I let products finish up and then I tried the Ilia products after I finished up what I already had. I would love to hear about something you've done to remove toxins in your home or to use less toxins in your life. So shoot me a DM on Instagram. I am all ears. My handle is at Sleep and Wellness Coach. As always, thanks for listening. I hope you'll join me again next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to How Long Till Bedtime. To learn how we can work together to improve your child's sleep, please visit sleepandwellnesscoach.com.